Why should I need a visa when I'm going to visit my family in Uganda? I married a wife in... Should I need a visa to go and visit my in-laws? I have my uncle in South Africa. My daughter is working in Ethiopia. Why should I need a visa to go and visit her?
Africa Insight Media, the home of African stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another series here. My name is Godfrey Amimo, and we shall be discussing Africa as a family, Africa as a continent, and everything that concerns us as Africans. Africa is our motherland. Our life began in Africa, and from history, traces finds out that the Garden of Eden was in Africa. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we shall be discussing about Africa and how to revive Africa from colonialism. Now, Africa is a very rich continent and with so many resources, and what we are lacking, maybe it is management and some few points that we forgot. But initially, everything began in Africa, by the way. The education that we use today came from Africa, and actually it came from Ethiopia. We have the original Bible from Africa, and remember, some of the people in the Bible were from Ethiopia. King Solomon's mother came from Ethiopia here. Queen of Sheba came from Ethiopia. And generally, Africa is where everything begins, or rather, where everything begins. Now, let's dive deep into this conversation. It's a one-to-one conversation. I'm just talking to you about this. And I'd like to see your comments or your views on the comment section. Now, how can we revive Africa from this colonialism? Because we have been on chains for so long, and it's about time we break these chains and we succeed as a continent. Now, there are some of the things that we're going to discuss about 6 keys that when we focus on them, Africa will never be the same. It will be the Singapore of the world. Remember the history of Singapore. Everything had collapsed. The economy was down to earth. But later on, in a meeting of about 2-3 people, everything was revived. And right now you can see where Singapore is in the map of the world. So that is the exact thing that we need to do as Africans so that we can be ranked high on the map. Remember, we are rich in minerals and some source like that. So we have some few things that are bringing problems, and that's what we're going to discuss today in this series. One of the first thing that we need to do as Africans to revive our continent is we have to watch our politics, how we do politics. And what we need to do here first is to strengthen our governance. Governance starts from home. If you're a father, there's a governance that you give to your home. And as a continent also, and the countries in the continent, we need good governance so that we can be able to manage it well, and it will succeed through that. Another thing that we need to strengthen is the Pan-African unity. We need to collaborate with each other country, like we say, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, West African countries, South African countries, Central African countries. They collaborate to do their things together so that they can bring that oneness, and this one will improve the global politics. Another thing that we need to do in the political world, we need to reduce the foreign influence. Some of the West African countries, despite getting the independence, the influence of the country still comes from out. And out I mean from France. Those countries that were colonized by France, they still control these countries despite them having gotten their independence. So you find out that the foreign forces come and destabilize these countries, and thus it brings a division in our continent, Africa. The second thing that we need to look at if we want to change Africa or to revive Africa from colonialism, the second thing is economics. Remember, economy is the heart of the land, and economy is very ancient. You know, even the times of our old grandfathers, the economy was still there. Despite, okay, fine, there was no money, but the economy was still there. Maybe if you had some goods, you had to exchange with somebody so that you can get account. That is economy, basically. Economy does not mean that it should not involve money alone. Yeah. So economically, we need to look at some of the things that you can do to reduce or to put African to the map where it was in the ancient. On the economy part, one of the things that we need to do is we need to reduce the export. The export, some of the things that we export, we need to be using them here in Africa. Okay, fine, let me explain this. Let's say in Kenya, we grow coffee. After growing coffee, what we do, we package them, then we send them outside the country to go be processed and come back as finished goods. The product that you sold at, let's say, 100 shillings, or let's say $1, it will be, after being processed, it will be brought back and it will be sold to you at $20. You see? But if, as we as Africans, we can come together, we build industries, we build industries that will help us to process these products to finished goods, then we can be getting a profit of $90, you know. So when we export our things outside, they come and sell the same products to us at a higher price than how we sold to them. And remember, another thing that we need to do, if you sell them something, then you're producing a finished good. When you sell to them, they'll say this is of a lower grade, you know. So they want you to sell them that product at a lower price. But when they're selling you this product, they sell it at a higher price. So you see, if you can try to calculate the economics there, you find out that as Africans we are going a very big loss. So we need to reduce the export and process our things here in Africa, and that will bring about very big profits, and that's how Africa will grow as a continent. And in the same place, like in Kenya, in Turkana, oil was discovered. So you find out that foreign companies, they come and extract the oil or the minerals, then they take them to their countries as crude oil to go and get purified from there. Then they bring back the same oil to us and sell it at a very, very high price. So what business are we doing with these companies? But we shall talk about that in our later points. Another thing on economics, we need to invest in our infrastructure. The infrastructure, we are talking about roads, buildings, technological infrastructure. By the way, I was very much surprised to hear that we still have some countries in Africa where internet is not there, you know. So we as African countries, we need to come together. We need to build these road networks. We need to have good buildings. Internet should be everywhere. Remember, the future of the world is online. You understand? So when we have these networks, it will ease the movement of goods and services, and also infrastructure like airlines and trains and things like that. So we should improve our transport infrastructure and everything like that. And those countries that do not have internet, then the collaboration of these countries can enable that, and everybody will be at par with each other country. Another thing that we need to do is that we need to promote local owners. This one comes to an example of Burkina Faso. This country, before it was revived by one and only Captain Ibrahim Traore. This country was using the currency or central bank of Burkina Faso. Actually, they didn't have that. They were using central bank of France. So they're depositing money in France. Even those who are in government, they're being paid from France. Can you understand? Can you get that? You have so many years since you get independence, but when you want to get paid, you keep being paid by the government of France. But kudos to you, Captain Ibrahim Traore. You're doing a good job, by the way. And from when he entered power, he said no more sending money to France. And right now we have a Central Bank of Burkina Faso in the Burkinabe nation. So promoting local owners like banks, we need to have our own banks. I like Kenya because we have our own bank here. We have Central Bank of Kenya, we have Equity Bank, we have Family Bank, we have Cooperative Bank, we have Absa Bank, we have so many banks here. We have Sidian Bank and so many banks. So we are promoting our own thing. Remember, when you deposit your money in your local bank, you're promoting that country. But if you're depositing or you're doing business with a foreign bank, you're benefiting that bank. Africa is blessed, and as blessed as we are, we don't benefit from our blessings. Remember, Africa, from all countries in the world, Africa is the motherland, and what I mean by saying motherland is where all minerals are found. Remember, like for example, in this country is called Congo, DRC Congo, is the only country, or it is the highest producer of, is it uranium or something? You can tell me on the comment section. These minerals, that is it? It's a kind of mineral that is used in making phones, I think. So I think it comes from Congo. I think it is it uranium? Correct me on the comment section. So if you have such a mineral in your land, but it is being extracted and taken to another countries to go and create something that they will bring back and sell you at a higher price. Congo is the highest producer of gold, diamonds, and so many other products. So apart from Congo, we have Libya, the highest producer of oil, And by the way, that's why these Western countries, when you try to block them, they call you a terrorist. Sometimes I sit down and try to think, some of our leaders, like Idi Amin Dada, if at all he was a terrorist, how was he able to pay everybody in the country? People are being paid salary even when they're not working. Those who are not working at that time, they are being paid salary. They were staying in very good homes. If at all he was a terrorist, was he able to do that? I doubt. We have lost some of our very good African leaders because of Western countries' influence. Apart from that, we have Mobutu Sese Seko. I'm saying those people who were assassinated. When you go against the Western countries, what they want, they call you a terrorist, they hunt you and kill you. You know, if they are not getting anything from your country, they'll not come there. But as long as they are coming, there's something, they have their own mission in your country. You might think they're very much interested, they have good heart, they're coming to help you, but in the really sense, they're coming, there's something they're aiming in their country and they want to benefit from that. So we as Africans, and that's why these people are not in good terms with Burkina Faso President Captain Ibrahim Traore, because this country is the biggest producer of gold at the moment. Recently, he paid all the debts for the country, so he owes, the country owes nobody a dime. The gold that was being extracted to France is now being used to build road networks in Burkina Faso. So if they see somebody doing like that and they're not benefiting anything from that, they start to say, you're a bad man, you're a terrorist, you're killing your own people. I'm trying to doubt these Western countries. But anyway, another thing that we need to talk about here for us to revive Africa is education. For a long time, we have stuck in foreign education. And by foreign education, I mean the curriculum that we are using. But currently, personally, I'm in Kenya and I learned in 844. But we have another one that is called CBC or something like that. So many countries in Africa, they're still using the colonial one. And remember, this curriculum that these countries are using is exactly what was being used there. And remember, some of the things that were found in their countries, they're not in our country. So we need to come up with our own curriculum. By the way, I like how China operates, I like how Russia operates, I like how these big countries operate. Like China, they have their own curriculum. I heard it that after kids going to school, they have their time to sleep. Children, they're being taught how to socialize with people, how to do the house chores, and everything like that. But in Kenya, did you do your homework? I didn't do, teacher. What do you think? Can bring a parent? You know. But there, they know how to do that. I doubt the education I learned, by the way. But we as Africans, we need to come up with another curriculum that will help us and our kids to prosper. Another thing still in education, we need to have our own language. And I really thank Tanzania. They've really stuck with the Kiswahili. Remember, in Russia, they speak Russian. In China, they speak Chinese. In Britain, they speak English. Or in Spain, they speak Spanish. In Turkey, they speak Turkish. In Portugal, they speak Portuguese. In France, they speak French. In Africa, we speak what? By the way, as Africans, we need to be serious about these things, you know. Where did we go wrong? We as Africans, where did we go wrong? Why can't we have our own language? Why can't we speak our own language as Africans? The same leaders that we want to choose. By the way, I was annoyed recently by this Ugandan presidential candidate who said that if at all he gets power, he will abolish Swahili from being a national language. And remember, Swahili became an official language in Uganda in 2005. So something that was brought in 2005, want to abolish it? Are you serious? And this is the language that Africans have adopted. Even other countries, by the way. China nowadays, I've been talking to my China friends. They're telling me nowadays in China, in university, you have to learn Swahili. If foreigners, they're working hard, they're paying school fees to learn Kiswahili, and you want to abolish it, are you serious? There is this South African politician, I think opposition politician, it's called Julius Malema. He said he was advocating for Swahili language. By the way, we don't have our identity when it comes to language. So it should be, when we speak Swahili, this is an African language. Ethiopian, Nigerian, Togo, Burkinabes, Namibia, they should be talking Swahili. Even adding to that, the Burkina Faso president, Captain Ibrahim Traore, said we need to adopt Kiswahili as our language, because that is our identity. And you are here telling us that you will abolish Swahili. These are some of the leaders that you need to throw them away from this continent, because they are not adding any value at all. We're working hard to make sure this language gets so many people, and the one saying that you'll abolish it, anyway, you'll not be elected then, because the people you wanted, you want votes from, they're speaking the language. But anyway, I'm not in Uganda, I'm not a Ugandan, but those are just my views. Swahili is being spoken in almost 10 countries. We have Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, DRC, Congo, Zambia, Mozambique, Oman, South Sudan. But anyway, I'm not catching feelings over that. So we need to have a language that will identify us as for Africans. Another thing is social transformation, empower women and youth. I think this one has been happening, where we have those youth programs. By the way, youths need to be empowered. You know, in 1 year we have almost 1 million graduates, and I don't think if we have 1 million jobs in 1 year, 1 million jobs in 1 year. But what we can do to empower this, we can provide maybe those grants, so these young people can come up with proposals, business proposals, something like that. So they just get empowered and do business, and I think that one can put them on the good side of the economy. We need to embrace our culture. I love most Maasais, because mostly Maasais are associated with Kenya. These long distance runners, they are associated with Kenya. So we have some things that identify a country. Like in Uganda, when you go there, they are identified by matoke. So if you go there and you don't eat matoke, you are not in Uganda. Am I wrong? But as Africans, we need to be identified by something. Yeah. If you go to Egypt, you're identified by pyramids. If you go to let's be identified by good deeds. Yeah. Next thing that will put us on the map as a continent is strategic global positioning. Here, this one just talks about we need to collaborate as Africans. African countries should collaborate and come together to do good things. Recently, I was listening to another podcast where the speaker said, it is very funny that 54 African presidents can travel to go and see one US president or one president from another country, let's say China. So they take the whole continent to go and talk to one person. So what collaboration means here, we need to collaborate. Okay, one, we need to come up with good governance in each country. We need to come up with a leader, an African leader, where if China need Africa, they just send that person to go and talk to him, not all African presidents. And I really like the conversation, by the way. There was a time presidents complained when they went to New York. They were going to see, I think it is Donald Trump. And before reaching there, they were put in a bus. Imagine a president being transported in a matatu or nganya. No security, and you are in a foreign country. All presidents were put in one bus and transported like luggages. We are not serious, by the way. We are not serious. But what we should do, if they need us, they should come here in Africa. If they need African presidents, they should come here. Why should we go there? Maybe I may be talking wrong, but if I need you, I'll come to your home, or I will text you. It beats logic, by the way. You need me, and you want me to come to your home. Is it making sense? Anyway, another thing under strategic global positioning is we need to reduce debts. We need to reduce debts. I like what Captain Ibrahim Traore did. He paid all the debt. And as other African countries, we need to take that example because we have the resources, we have everything that can pay the debts, and everything will be okay. Why should we have unnecessary debts? You owe people trillions of money, and these people, for example, in Tanzania, they took airport as a security. So when you will be unable to pay the money, they will take your airport. That's not serious anyway. But anyway, it's part of life. It's part of life. Unfair trade deals. That's exactly what I was talking about. You find out that there is a deal where somebody gives you a deal, and then he knows what he will benefit there, and you lose something along the way. So that's what we call unfair trade deals. Finally, I just want to give you thanks for taking this long. It's not easy, but those are just my views as an African, and I've just been pointing some of the points where we are going wrong. One, we need to stay together as Africans. And by the way, I was forgetting something. Something to do. Oh, that's when I was talking about collaborating. When they collaborate, they need to discuss the issue of visas. Why should I need a visa when I'm going to visit my family in Uganda? I married a wife in Congo, for example. Why should I need a visa to go and visit my in-laws? I have my uncle in South Africa. Why should I need a visa to go there? My daughter is working in Ethiopia. Why should I need a visa to go and visit her? So these are some of the things that this African president and African as a continent need to sit down and discuss, because if we continue with the way we are going, Africa will collapse. And it's about time as Africans to wake up and do what is necessary. We are able, we have the resources, good governance, and also I'll urge Africans, make sure you choose a president who will represent you well, who will bring developments to your country, and who will lead you to the right track. Recently we had the demonstrations in Tanzania, and that is a very clear indication that Africans have woken up, and they're not joking. They have realized this is a job they are giving you, because when you go and ask for votes, it's like you are an application for a job. So if you give you the job, you must deliver. So most of the African presidents, they think that when they are elected, they are above you. No. We as the people in the country, we are the boss. We gave you the job, so you have to deliver. If I'm in your company and you give me a job, if I don't deliver, you'll sack me. And that's exactly what is happening. So we gave you a job, you have to perform. Otherwise, it has taken long. My name is Godfrey Amimo. I just want to ask you for a subscription. Kindly subscribe to my channel. It's a very new channel, and I'll be bringing you more African stories, African politics, economies, everything about Africa. But for your support, just like my video, share, and don't forget to subscribe, so that we can bring you more videos like this. As I said, my name is Godfrey Mimo. Until next time, bye.